Welcome back to the Wolf of Queen Street podcast series. Welcome back to the audio podcast or the video series if you join us today. But before we get into the show, I just want to do a shout out to my sponsors, the Six Figure Secrets. This is a team of guys and girls that help your business take the next step up to six figures and beyond. If you need help launching a brand, taking your brand to the next level, or just need someone as simply as running an effective Facebook ad campaign to bring in the revenue that your business needs, this is the company to go to. This sounds like something you're interested in. You can find them at sixfiguresecrets.co. But today I'm joined by Jolynn Swafford, an online business expert who I've actually previously had on the show over a year ago. And I thought it was finally time to get her back on the show to talk about the online businesses that she's running, the expertise and the mentorship she's offering in the online space, and how she's, let's say, use a big word, revolutionizing the digital coaching, and I've put in inverted commas, niche, and put in a foot up those people's behinds to show how things should be done. Jolynn, welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you so much. I love that intro. It's good.
You know, before we jump into it, I just passed my 50th episode a handful of episodes ago, and I was thinking back, I had the first person on my show, I had the same person on the 50th episode I had on my first episode. And I think back of when I did your interview, you know, it was only an audio podcast over a year. Sorry to interrupt the current show, but just to let you know, if you're enjoying what you've seen, make sure you hit the subscribe and like button. So next time another episode comes out, you'll be able to see it first. Back to the show. Year ago, and how things have been, you know, both of our worlds have changed over the last 12, 14 months, and how things have changed in my focus and your focus. And I know I can see on your social footprint at the moment, there's a big thing that you are trying to knock down or break down. And both of us are trying to mentor, help people. Fundamentally, a couple of years ago, you would have come out public and said, hey, I'm Jolynn Swafford. I'm an online coach, or I'm a life coach. But we've both seen this moment of the word coach being a little bit, how do I say, not dirty, overused, not really understood, and been given people that are trying to really help a bad name. And I know at the moment there's something key to yourself is you are trying to disrupt this online coaching world. You're trying to disrupt it and show what it should be and how it should be delivered effectively. And I'd love to know your thoughts about that.
Yes. Well, thank you for that. Yes. I mean, I'm like a lot of people, I started coaching about 4 years ago, and I was a coach in the corporate America or, industry were my clients. And then I transitioned to helping individuals. And initially it wasn't a very crowded space. And It's interesting because over time it's become more and more crowded. And it's not that I'm disturbed by that there are more people out there seeking to serve and help other people. Mm-hmm. It's not that at all. But just as with any product or service, it's like coaching was a designer medication and now it's a generic.
Yeah.
And so it's really become, as with anything, it's become it's become commoditized. Mm-hmm. And with that comes some really cheap selling tactics, a lot of over-promising, a lot of people charging rates that they can't justify.
Correct.
A lot of people saying they get results that they don't get. There's a lot of gaming of the system, mm-hmm. buying people to comment and like, and, and buying people to get to pay for comments in your ads. Yep. It's just not it's not a level playing field anymore. It's like anyone's willing to do anything to stand out and over social proof themselves, if you will.
I totally agree with that. I know I've got a handful of people that are on my own social media network right now. I'm not going to mention names, and I can see the method that they use, that they have their tribe. So they have a leader of the tribe, and they've all gone through that leader's program. And fundamentally, there's an agreement between each one of those tribe members that if one of them go and do something socially, the rest of the tribe has to jump on and boost it. So every time we go into any of their content, it's literally 99% of the people, the same people every single time. But from anyone else's point of view, they look at it and go, oh, wow, this post has got, 30 comments, 40 comments. It's got, 50 likes. It's really engaging. This person obviously has got a good network behind them. But when you look further down into it, all of it's BS. All of it's just fake, loaded stuff to try and look good, and then they want to turn around and say, okay, come on, I'll make you a coach and I'll charge you $5,000. And it's like, oh, hold on, that's just ridiculous. And I totally agree. It's so saturated, and it's such a bad place at the moment in that industry.
Mm-hmm. As a matter of fact, I've decided to focus less on being a coach.
Yep.
I mean, I'm certified as a coach. I'm certified neurolinguistic programming, and other things, but more on mastering a craft.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's why I'm now branding myself or calling myself an online business expert. And I can probably get even more specific than that. But the idea is that I have an expertise and I can help you get further in your online business faster. And I think the thing that's really challenging, or that breaks my heart. So this is that idea of like, what breaks your heart? And what breaks my heart is that because I don't blow up balloons when I hit a certain, financial milestone,
Yep.
and, do a cute little pose and post it on Instagram. Sometimes I don't get clients. Those people get clients. Yep. Because people are drawn to the idea of make money fast. Yep. Even if somebody doesn't need to make money fast, there's still like some appeal to that. Oh, well, she made that much and that quickly. And I've never bragged about my income status for a lot of personal, private reasons, like the IRS, but I'm just saying.
Yeah.
But my point is that I have a lot of people that come to me and they've spent tens of thousands of dollars on coaching and they've gotten no results, and they're frustrated, they're tired, they're discouraged, and even marriages like struggling because of it.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you talk about people like to see the get rich quick things. That psychology is underlying why network marketing is successful. Let's say successful in a weird term, but why certain people can be very successful, because it is show get rich quick, publicly, and people sign on, and we know how network marketing works. But, totally, I can see it in spaces of people that I trust my network, and saying the same thing that you're saying is they're getting people coming to them and said, hey, we've had enough over here. We've had enough of going to this person, going to that guy, going to that girl, and they keep having these promises, and they keep showing the social proof. But when you question them or you push them to the line, they're found wanting. They're found not actually having it, because they only got their qualification 6 months ago. Now, nothing against NLP certification, nothing against a lot of the coaching certifications we have in the world, but most people don't realize those certifications are done in days. They're not done in years. They're not done in decades. They're done in days, and then you get a certification that sits behind you. So this is where something is you got to pay attention to, because someone can say, hey, I'm qualified as an NLP coach, which is most of the life coaches these days, but it doesn't mean they've got 2 years, 5 years, 10 years experience behind them. It just means they've got the certification. So we've got to question, and we've got to look into it. And I'd like to know, Jolynn, with yourself, you're saying disrupting this industry. What is your biggest thing, or what you're trying to change differently? I know you said you're going a bit more niche, but is there anything else specifically trying to do that you trying to block off that old way of coaching to what you're doing now?
Well, I mean, the key thing is mainly the way I attract people to me. Yep. So, I mean, and this has been pretty consistent with my personal brand. I've always had a high integrity, high value brand, which obviously I wouldn't be on this podcast with you if I didn't. Definitely not twice, right? But just, it's just, taking that, changing the narrative, number one. Stop starting with this story. Yep. I used to be broke, and then I did this, and 6 months later I made $100,000, and I'm teaching you how now, and so now pay me $30,000. Yep. That narrative is overused. Most of the time is disingenuous. Yep. They've left out a lot of money that they spent to make that money. And so I'm changing the narrative away from the money aspect and more about making an impact, right? And helping people get further in life. And so that's one, changing the narrative. Number two, just really shaking up the pricing model.
Mm-hmm.
because coaching is only available for the wealthy or for people who go sell something or get a loan
Yep.
for the most part. And it's really hard to find a good coach for less than $10,000 right now, to be honest.
Yep.
And so I have kind of shaken up some of my own programs. I mean, I'll admit I had programs that were 10,000, 20,000, 30,000, and I still do, depending on the projects. Those are business projects. But for the individual, I really think that if we want to make the world a better place, if we want to end poverty, if we want to change the cycle of generational pain and suffering, people need coaches. And I think coaching is more valuable than some formal education.
Yep.
So I'm creating programs that are affordable. And what I mean by affordable is that somebody could easily sell 2 or 3 little things that they just don't need anymore in a garage sale,
Yep.
Gary Vaynerchuk style, and work with me like that. But all of that said, lowering the price, but without sacrificing the value and the result. And so I'm hoping that by doing that, I'll push other people to step up.
No, that's great. It's definitely something that, resonates with myself. A big thing about my own personal brand has always been to try and inspire and give freely. And us, this is why I'm so going through it and learning and getting the distaste in my mouth and seeing it so evident in the open market, because now I'm getting more networks and doors are opening and I'm meeting new people. And as every door opens, 90% of it is all of this unfortunate, the wrong noise. And this is where I'm trying to push in my circles going, hey guys, we got to do something different. And I love how you're saying is understanding of providing value, not money, per se. And then understanding of allowing anyone in their life, no matter what their situation is, to have access to be able to get someone that can help them through a situation, especially at the moment where we are in the world at the moment. A lot of people can't afford thousands of dollars to try to put them on the right track or anything else. We need people that are willing to want to help and inspire, no matter without making their 6 figures every month, pretty much.
Yes.
And that's amazing, Jolynn. I love that, how you pivoting and how you're changing it to really disrupt the coaching business at the moment. So to anyone else that's listening at the moment, that's watching or listening, some of them might go, hey, I totally resonate with Jolynn. I totally resonate with her style. I'm not really, I'm not really putting all my stuff out there because I just want to do that. But I want to get into the online business. I want to get into online coaching, or let's say online mentorship, or business expert in their niche. What would you say has the best manner currently to start that journey online?
Yeah. Well, first off, my phrase of the last 3 months has been the internet is still open. And so we are so just to see the internet as an opportunity and not be afraid of it and use it and maximize it. So, the biggest thing that I see is people will come to me and they'll say, I want to become a coach and I need to make $30,000 within 90 days, or I'll go find somebody else to help me do that. And I'm like, well, number one, don't do that. Because by focusing on the money, you are energetically repelling people to work with you. They will feel it. They know you're desperate and they do not want anything to do with it. And so that's the key thing, is really get clear on why you want to do this. And if your intention is to serve, because it is still a job. So it doesn't matter if you're not centered in the right place. It doesn't matter how much money you're making right down the road. But if you want to get started, the best thing is to get really clear on what I call your personal identity. So many people, they want to rush out to the market, but they haven't built an online reputation with their personal identity. And so the key thing is right now there are so many choices of coaches out there that most people will already have their decision made on if they want to work with you or not before you have even gotten on the phone. And because they have gone to your Facebook page and they've gone to your web page and they've gone to your LinkedIn, or they've checked out all your social. And if you are not promoting a brand and a personal story and solutions to problems consistently, then they're not going to do business with you. So there's really nothing I can do for you as a coach if you're not willing to show up every day on social media. And it's free. You don't have to run ads if you do it really well.
No, totally agree with that. Sometimes people forget how simple it is for someone to go on Google and Google someone's name and realize and see everything that is about them. We live in a social world where 99% of everything we've done is public, accessible, and can be reached by Google. And as you said, is if you don't go and put out some social footprint or some social proof about what you stand for, the niche, the problems you're resolving, and you want to start a new business, when people are looking around and around the noise and trying to find the right person, they're not going to see you. So I totally agree with anyone that's wanting to start a business is finding your why, or finding your understanding of what you want to do. And then I think a second part of that is understanding your perfect customer. Because as much as you want to understand yourself, you got to fundamentally understand who the perfect person you want to work with as well, and which will help drive yourself of who you want to actually have. Because I might be a mentor in a certain area. I'm mentor in social media. I'm mentor in podcasting. But if you came to me, and Jolynn will have this experience, and said, "Hey, I'm a big corporate. I want you to grow, our revenue by 2x over the next 6 months." I'm going to be like, "Hey, I'm not the right person." It'll be cool. I'll try it, but I'm definitely not the right person. And I understand that because that is not my perfect customer. And I think that's something that's quite important when you start a business, is knowing that, or trying to know that as well.
Totally. That's actually the very first step that I take my clients through.
Mm-hmm.
I have a complete roadmap to starting an online business, whether you're a coach, whether you want to be an influencer, whether you want to sell products. All of them start with having absolute clarity on who your customer is.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a perfect segue, because if you are creating content and it's just all about you and all about you and all about you, and you're just telling your story and you're posting stuff all about you, nobody cares.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the thing, is there's this balance between communicating who you are in the context of who they are.
Mm-hmm. Correct.
And if it doesn't reach them, then you don't post. So that's one of the things I teach, is that, how do you connect with your customer in a way that's really authentic, that is like almost like you're dating,
Mm-hmm.
like you're becoming friends.
No, I totally agree with that. And you see all the time, again, it's people that oversaturate with their own view and their own opinions compared to the people that oversaturate with other people's opinions that offer insights.
Mm-hmm.
A big fan of both of us, and we mentioned being on the show, is Gary Vaynerchuk. He offers insights in his site, but what he's done lately in the last handful of years is he'll come onto a video or an imagery or whatever he does on whatever social platform, and then he'll grab someone else's opinion and put it into his video. Not that he's saying it. You actually have their video cut in. For example, he just did a recent one. I think it was on LinkedIn. It was about TikTok platform. And he was like, "Hey guys, here's amazing steps how to, get successful on TikTok and so forth. You are two experts in this area." And he had them on these video. And that's where people went, "Oh, great. I'm listening to actual experts in that area." As much as everyone knows, he knows most things. I resonated more because he didn't keep on trying to sell continuously that he knows the world. And, and been on an online business by being able to push someone else's message and understanding as them on your social proof totally helps. And I resonate so much more with that.
Yes, totally.
And no, that's great. And one thing, with talking about the online, so understanding what you want to do, understanding who you want to get, and then, as you said, is going out and doing social footprint and pushing the mark. You got to give it time. You got to give an online business time as well. As that is the biggest challenge. I think most people is this whole, "Hey, I want to make it quickly. I want to make it in 30 days. I want to make it in 60 days. I've been running this social brand for 18 months now, and I'm only now, after 18 months, finally realized where I want to be on my brand and the direction I want to take it. And I think that's a problem. A lot of people online going, "I want things too quickly."
Yes, exactly. Because they watch what other people are doing. And, back when a lot of people were getting started, there wasn't this idea of take them along with you in the journey. So they just boom, they just appeared, and they seem like, wow, she's got a book and she got 1 million followers and all this stuff. And the truth is, there is a lot of work, and there's a lot of inner work that goes with, that's what I was just doing an interview today, and I said, this is also a process of knowing who you are
Mm-hmm.
and being able to articulate that in a way that's consistent and authentic. And so, yeah, I think that I look back at some of the brands and courses and names of masterminds that I had, and yeah, you can kind of see that I was trying to be like maybe a role model that I was following,
Mm-hmm.
but it wasn't me.
Yeah.
And the thing is like when you start to be able to run a business and you're completely you and you're not trying to be like other people, which is what the biggest mistake that people make in the beginning, myself included, then you don't have that resistance. Things start to flow and it just, it feels good. It just feels better.
Yeah.
But one thing I was watching, Robert Kiyosaki, one of actually Success Resources speakers, great guy, and he was talking about if you go into entrepreneurship to make money, then you're not in it for the right reasons.
Yep.
He said, if you go look at entrepreneurs who did really well, they had lots of ups and downs and you're in it for the ride.
Yeah.
And
totally agree.
So that I try to embrace that and share that with my clients too.
That's great. One final thing I wanted to cover off, Jolynn, at the moment is, talking about starting an online business and talking about disrupting the marketplace you're going into. But there's obviously people listening or watching at the moment that already have a business. They already have an online footprint and they're going, I'm a little stuck. COVID hurt me. Which it's hurting most people, or that either hurt me, or now my niche is oversaturated because everyone's jumping on, and I don't know how to take the next step to try and get ahead a little and then improve on my online business. What would you say to people that's trying to just revitalize a stalled online footprint?
Yeah, I would say go live on any platform that you possibly can. That is the biggest differentiator right now, because like I said, coaching is viewed as a commodity. Everybody has the same result. So you have two options: create a different roadmap, something really unique and innovative to get to the result. Do you do it faster?
Yep.
Number two. Number three, you can do it cheaper. Or number four, you just show up. But you do all four, which is what I'm doing right now. You're like not just getting CPR. You're not just resuscitating your coaching business, you're creating something that is sustainable long-term. And so I would say a lot of people, my clients, and it drives me nuts because I'm like, did you go live today? And they're like, no, I'll do it tomorrow. And I'm like, why didn't you go live? Like, I wasn't feeling it. I'm like, the difference between failure and success is you going live.
Yep.
And you're not doing it. And so guess what? When somebody else steals your show, I can't help you. Because I can't go live for you. So I would say we're in this amazing window of opportunity, and it's not a brand new window of being able to promote, talk, connect in live video. And I'm not even sure how much longer that's going to stand out uniquely, because people are going to start to get comfortable. And then all of a sudden everyone's going to be doing it. And then we're going to have to find another way to connect that's unique and special. Right. So I would say right now, go live. Be succinct, be clear, be energetic, have good lighting, and do it as often as you can.
No, there's definitely a space in that about going live. A big thing at the moment is I've been pushing my LinkedIn content as one of the social platforms to try to grow. I let that lay behind, and LinkedIn has now become a real funky digital platform. What Facebook was a while ago, LinkedIn's becoming now. And people don't realize you can go live on LinkedIn if you are special enough. So you have to request approval. And if you're big enough and have enough influence behind you, they will give you approval. I know a handful of people that they've been given that green light, but yet they won't use it. Now, there's a limited percentage of people on LinkedIn, maybe 10 or 20% that has that. So straight away, as Jolynn said, that is a game changer on that platform. If you can go live, you're different than 80% of the rest of the market. Why wouldn't you, utilize that and use it for that social platform? I use another example quite a bit when I talk about being different and, being a game changer, what you said about yourself, Jolynn, but in the market. Look at UFC. I'm a big fight fan. Most people know that. Dana White has made one of the most effective businesses in the world he has been on, not himself, but the brand is on social media continuously. It's on TV continuously. Everything's free. So UFC Fight Night, UFC International Travels, all the fighting programs they have, everything's free except you pay for once a month for 2 hours content. When it's the main card, you pay for the 2 hours and the last 4 fights. That's all he charges you for. Everything else is continuously out there and you can get it. And I think it's, that sort of model people should use it and go, he's one of the most successful businesses, and he turned around one of the biggest businesses in the world to be worth billions of dollars by giving away 90%. And people went, hey, this is good. I can access it. And then the last 10%, he said, okay, now you're going to pay me, or now you're going to join up, or now you're going to come part of my team, to get it.
Mm-hmm. That is a really great point. I get that question a lot. As a matter of fact, somebody messaged me the other day and they said, why does Tony Robbins put all of his stuff on YouTube? Isn't that kind of counterproductive? And I was like, no, because Tony could never run out of content.
Mm-hmm.
Number one. Number two, it's in 10-minute, 15-minute bite-sized pieces. So you kind of have to piece it together to make a lot of great sense of it. But you could watch one or two to kind of, get something out of it. And then 3, it's that mind, it's the reticular activating system, right? Mm-hmm. So it's the constant seeing him so that when the problem comes or when you need something, that's the person you think of because they've been in front of your face the whole time.
Yeah.
And so that's why I say, and if you think you're going to put all your content out there and you can't then charge for it, then you need to go learn some more. You need to go master something else because you've run out. You got to go deeper into your knowledge and skill set.
I totally agree. I think just to end off on that question of how to revitalize an online business is, to anyone listening or watching, is look at what the marketplace is doing and find that 1% that's a little different, and take that chance and be that different. Because if your business is stalled, if you're doing the same thing, they say the proof of you going crazy is doing the same thing and expecting different results.
Yeah.
So why not be the 1% different and utilize that advantage till it changes, and then find the next 1%. And that's how game changers do it. They always find the difference in coaching or in businesses, in social media, in sports stars. When you look back at the greatest, you go, why was he the greatest? Because he did one thing that no one thought of, or she did one thing that no one thought of, and they did it. And then at that moment, everyone thought it was totally obscure. But 5 years later, you went, why didn't we all do that?
Yeah.
So just think of 2 businesses out of the 2008 recession. There was 2 businesses. I know they're struggling now, but 2 businesses that came out 2008 that no one realized. And that was Airbnb and Uber. And everyone, when it came out, everyone's like, what are you doing? It's not going to work. Why are you doing that? And now, before COVID, Airbnb was the biggest hotel that didn't own a hotel. Uber was the biggest taxi service in the world that didn't own a car. And it was that sort of thinking of the 1% of totally obscure and going with it that could revitalize your business.
Yes. And that's the key, is they saw a need and they went for it. And, I think that, and this is where I get frustrated with some of the traditional teaching for coaches, is that they say success leaves clues. So go see who's doing what you want to do and funnel hack them, or just follow them and do exactly what they're doing. Well, that's okay but not okay when a couple thousand people are doing exactly what that person was. So I always say, and I've had some failures. I've had some launches that didn't go well, but you know what? I tried because I wanted to go where nobody else was going. And so what I like to say is, I'd rather fail as an innovator than fail as a copycat.
Yep. I love that.
That's it.
Mic drop. To anyone that's listening on the audio, Jolynn just did a mic drop. But to end off the show today, Jolynn, as we come to our 30-minute, is there anything last you want to leave our listeners with today? And then after that, just the social platforms or the handles people can find you on.
Sure. I would just say right now, this is the time to start a business online. And it's even more the time to start a business, to take your knowledge and expertise. So you don't have to be a coach, right? But, there are people who are making, $50,000 to $100,000 a month after a lot of work, but they're just teaching people how to juggle, right? And so I would just say, if you don't want to go back to that 9 to 5 job, or if you're in a situation where you may have been furloughed and you're in a bad place, you can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that you'll find if you do it and you're committed to it, that you don't have to go back and that you may never go back. And so I just want to encourage you guys to realize the internet is always open, and it's a space for anyone and everyone. So,
yeah, I love
my
that.
handles. So, I'm just at Jolynn Swafford, JOLYNN, S as in Sam, WAFFORD, everywhere. So I'm Jolynn Swafford on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram. That's my website. So I keep it really simple.
Oh, awesome. Thank you, Jolynn. And I think to anyone that's listening today, there's definitely, if you're in that space, you're thinking about it, if you're looking how to pivot and change, there's definitely so much insight in today's episode. But as I always say on the show is, I don't charge people. I don't expect anything from anyone on my show. But if something resonated with you today, if something felt like, hey, a light bulb went on, or you think if I can help someone else, please share it to them or tell them to come on over, come and listen or come and watch, because in this time we're at, we all need our help. We all need the insightful to be inspired or to learn to take that next level in our business, our life, or just in what we're trying to achieve. But at the end of the day, stay beautiful, stay powerful, and stay safe. Until next time, thank you.